Think about this. With every single breath you take, there's this amazing little biological machine inside your head working overtime to filter, warm, and humidify the air before it even gets close to your lungs. Today, we're taking a deep dive into that incredible system, your nose and your sinuses.
Yeah, you heard that right, around 20,000 breaths a day. It's a process so automatic we barely even think about it. But what's really happening with all that air? Well, it turns out your nose is doing a whole lot more than just letting it pass through.
So, to see how it all works, let's follow a single breath of air on its journey. Think of it like a guided tour through this self-cleaning, climate-controlled marvel of biological engineering. Our tour starts right now.
All right, so our tour kicks off at the gateway to your lungs. This is the part of the nose we can all see, but what it does is really just the beginning of the story. So the journey begins right at your nostrils. And you know those little nasal hairs inside? Well, they're not just there for show. They're your first line of defense, like a coarse filter designed to trap the big stuff, like dust and pollen.
Okay, once we get past the nostrils, we enter the nasal cavity. It's divided right down the middle by a wall of cartilage called the septum, and inside we find these really cool curved shelf-like structures called turbinates. This is where the air truly begins its transformation.
You've got 3 of these on each side, the inferior, the middle, and the superior. And you'll notice their curved shape. That's totally on purpose. This curve dramatically increases the surface area inside your nose. So why is that so important?
Well, it's because these 3 turbinates have 3 supercritical jobs. You can think of them as your body's own personal, built-in air conditioning unit, getting every single breath just right before it hits your delicate lungs.
So this climate control system does 3 things. First, it warms up cold air to body temperature, which protects your lungs from a nasty shock. Second, it adds moisture, humidifying dry air so it doesn't irritate your airways. And third, its sticky mucus lining is like flypaper, trapping all the smaller stuff that got past that first filter. Dust, pollen, bacteria, you name it. It's an absolutely essential process.
Okay, now let's move a little deeper into the system. Connected to that nasal cavity is this whole network of hidden, air-filled spaces, the sinuses. And trust me, they are way more than just empty pockets that can get infected.
We actually have 4 pairs of these sinuses. The maxillary sinuses are right there in your cheeks, the frontal ones are in your forehead, the ethmoid sinuses are tucked right between your eyes, and then the sphenoid sinuses are way back, deep behind your nose. So what are they all for?
They have a few pretty surprising jobs. For one, they lighten the weight of our skull, which would be a lot heavier if it were just solid bone. They also act like resonance chambers, which is why your voice sounds so different when you're all stuffed up. And, really importantly, they produce a constant supply of mucus to keep the entire system lubricated and working smoothly. So how do the sinuses stay healthy with all that going on? Well, all that mucus has to drain somewhere. It does this through these tiny little openings called ostia. Now, these openings are absolutely critical. If they get blocked, you're in for some trouble. Think of them as the system's most important drain pipes.
And this brings us to maybe the most elegant part of the whole system, its incredible ability to clean itself. There's a microscopic, non-stop process at work that acts like nature's own high-tech conveyor belt.
This is the mucociliary clearance system, and it works in 4 brilliant steps. First, that sticky layer of mucus traps all the unwanted invaders, dust, viruses, allergens. Second, millions of microscopic hairs called cilia are constantly beating together in this perfectly coordinated wave. Third, this wave-like motion pushes that mucus, our conveyor belt, towards the back of your throat, and from there, you simply swallow it and your powerful stomach acid destroys any harmful stuff. It's an incredible, non-stop cleaning cycle happening right now. But, what happens when this perfectly tuned, self-cleaning system breaks down? Well, this leads to a really common problem that pretty much everyone has experienced at some point.
And the difference is like night and day. In a healthy sinus, those little drains, the ostia, are open. Mucus drains out, air flows in, no problem. But when an ostium gets blocked, everything gets trapped. The mucus, the air, pressure starts to build, creating the perfect warm, wet environment for an infection to take hold. And that is sinusitis.
So what causes these blockages? Usually it's anything that causes inflammation and swelling. Allergies are a major culprit here, and so are infections like the common cold. Pollution can also be a trigger, and for some people, structural issues like a deviated septum can be a chronic source of obstruction. And the result of that blockage is that miserable feeling we all know, the congestion, the pounding headache, and that very specific pressure you feel in your face.
All of those symptoms are a direct result of the system failing to drain properly.
So, as our tour wraps up, the key takeaway is this. Your nasal system isn't just for smelling things. It is a vital, active part of your immune system, and it is absolutely fundamental to your breathing and your overall quality of life.
I mean, it protects you with every single one of those 20,000 breaths you take each and every day. So the final question is, knowing how vital and how complex this system really is, are you taking care of your body's first and most active line of defense?